All right, Gregory. Gregory, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
New Bedford, Massachusetts.
And tell me about your childhood. You had both your parents?
Yeah. Uh, my dad was a fisherman. My mom was a stay-at-home mom when I was a young child. Uh, he wasn't around much because he was always out fishing,
Mm-hmm.
and he had an alcohol problem. And so I grew up mostly with my mom, and I had a little brother and a little sister.
How would you describe your childhood?
Bleak. Yeah, I didn't really think too much of life from an early age. I pretty much found the world kind of horrifying, and the people in it.
What kind of stuff was going on at home that would make you see it as bleak?
I found out later. My mom always resented me because I was the reason she had to get married to my dad. I didn't learn that till later on in life. So that always manifested itself in different ways. Just her. I was a pretty good kid. I was a pretty well-behaved kid and stuff. But I was still always getting. Wasn't necessarily always physical violence, but I spent most of my childhood, it seems like, locked up in my room or something. And not being able to go out and do stuff or watch TV or anything like that. And I don't know. I thought that was. I didn't realize how abnormal that was. I just thought. I don't know what I thought of it. But yeah, it was bleak.
What kind of kid were you in high school?
My grades started slipping in high school. That's when I started experimenting with drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. Actually, junior high I started. But like I ran track, I was real good at that, But my parents made me quit that after a season or two because my grades weren't good enough. So I guess they figured I needed more time to study at home or whatever.
Did that work?
No, no, it didn't work.
No, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I was doing coke and stuff in high school like that, but like I always had a love for opiates. And I remember when I broke my arm when I was 11 years old and I was prescribed Percocet for it. And I'd take maybe half a pill at a time or whatever the doctor said. And that was like, a relief from it was like the opposite of pain, And I think that's what got me.
What do opiates do for a person? What do they make you feel? Especially when you have like trauma.
All your aches and pains go away.
But mentally,
it dulls your emotions. You get a sense of euphoria. Things are going to be okay. Things are okay. Don't seem as bad. While the high's lasting. But then if you don't, at a certain point, you need it just to function. And you stop getting really feeling any positive effects from it. You're just trying to get well. Trying to get.
Yeah.
Not sick anymore, and that's
the only real replacement for that is either a great childhood or lots of therapy, it seems.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah. And then after school, where'd you go from there? Did you graduate?
Yes, I did. And I started working on fishing boats for the summer before my senior year. And then when I graduated, my dad and I went down to Louisiana and got a job on a boat. There's people we knew bought a boat from Dow Chemical, a rig tending boat, and we converted it into a fishing boat and brought it up to Alaska and worked on that for a while. And then
So you fished in Louisiana?
No, we didn't fish there. We just purchased the boat there,
and we
did some work on it there, and brought it up to Washington State, and had hydraulics put on, and then went up to Alaska with it and worked the scallop industry, the scallop fishery.
How was Alaska?
It was beautiful. I liked it. I was making a lot of money, especially for such a young kid,
Louisiana is beautiful too.
Yeah, it is. I didn't really care for the weather too much down there. It's awfully humid. Yeah.
Alaska's cold though.
Yeah, it is. But we were in Dutch Harbor. It really doesn't get that cold there. It snows a lot, but it's in the Aleutian Island chain, and it's kind of almost like a subtropical climate, really.
At least for Alaska.
It doesn't get super cold. But it does snow and rain a lot,
Mm-hmm.
And you get a lot of bad storms and like that. But it gets in Alaska. It's really cold inland more than on the coast,
Right. So tell me about drugs and fishing.
There was a lot of drugs around.
They seem to go around.
Yeah, but back home in New Bedford, there was a lot of heroin and stuff in the fishing fleet, and the older guys mostly drank, but most of the youngsters did heroin and cocaine and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was easy. It wasn't, you could kind of maintain because you'd be gone for 2 weeks and then home for like 5 days, so you couldn't get much of a habit really, so I was able to still maintain and have an apartment and stuff like that, and not have to commit crimes or anything or be on the street, for a while. And
money is good, right?
Yeah, it is, but it's not guaranteed, Like, there was some months I probably made $15,000, but then there's months I made maybe a couple $100, if the boat broke down, or in the wintertime, if the weather's bad, you can't fish, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So it can be good, but it's not guaranteed,
Do you have kids?
I have one son.
You were married or?
No. I was married. My wife's passed away though. But she's not who I had the child with.
Oh, I see. And did you raise your son?
No. I never met him. His mom gave birth to him while I was in prison in California, and she gave him up for adoption, and so I've never been in his life or anything like that.
Oh, wow. What were you in prison for?
In California, I was in prison for a criminal threat.
Wow.
I got into an argument with a security guard at a store, and he said that I guess I threatened him and made him feel in fear of his life. So they gave me a strike and 2 years with half.
Wow.
Yeah. That was the second time I've been to prison. The first time I got arrested, I went to prison for 5 years back in Massachusetts. That was for stolen car and a firearm charge and an armed robbery charge.
Were these like drug-related?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Convictions?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything I ever did, the time I ever broke the law was around the procurement of drugs,
Yeah. Have drugs kind of been a constant in your life since
you
discovered them?
Yeah, definitely. There's been years when I've been off heroin, but then I was beyond meth and drinking every day, so it was always something.
Hmm. How long have you been down here on Skid Row?
I'm not really on Skid Row. I mostly hang around in K-Town and stuff like that. But
you're homeless?
Yeah, I've been homeless off and on since I've been in California.
Yeah. Skid Row is kind of expanding and spreading out to like MacArthur Park and Koreatown and all over.
It is.
It's all over the city. Right?
Mm-hmm. I was living in Echo Park for a while, but they fenced that off.
Echo Park and Santa Monica and Venice.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, really.
Yep.
What's it like living in a tent?
I don't know. I don't have a tent.
Oh, you just wing it?
Yeah, I don't even own a blanket. I just doze off here and there. I sleep on the bus a lot or the train,
Right. And the purpose for that is just people will leave you alone?
Yeah, no, you
won't get robbed?
Not get robbed, yeah, because I've had my stuff stolen. I was sleeping so many times. A couple of weeks ago, I was down on 6th and Main, and I had 2 backpacks with me. I set them off to the side. I was sitting there, I was cutting up strawberries and stuff, making breakfast, and someone came up to me and maced me in the face and tried to hit me with a pipe. And I got up and ran, and they took my backpacks.
Good morning. Good morning.
I know. They could have just said kick in the backpacks. I probably would have given it to them, They got a bunch of dirty laundry is what they got. And there's a pair of Ray-Bans in one of them, but that was just by chance. I don't know if they thought I wasn't homeless or I had money or something, but yeah, that sucked. I'm lucky though, because the person who did it, he hit a couple of people during the course of that week, put a couple of people in the hospital after macing them and hitting them with the pipe. So I was lucky. As soon as he sprayed me, I got up and ran. And there was a couple of people I knew around there. They got me milk and stuff like that to try and, mitigate it somewhat.
Milk helps with mace?
A little bit, yeah. Yogurt's supposed to be the best, though.
Wow. Yeah, being maced has got to suck.
Yeah, luckily none went in my mouth, but it went in my eyes, so I couldn't see for a while.
Yeah.
And it burns.
What emotions do you go through living this life? Being here? Sometimes
I don't really feel, I I mean, I don't like being homeless, but it doesn't, maybe it doesn't bother me as much as it should, you know, because I don't know. It's not, I mean, I know there's people that have it worse, you know, probably people who have houses that have it worse than me, you know, because my life's not that bad, really, you know what I mean? I got some decent friends and stuff like that, and, you know.
Are you unhappy?
Sometimes, but not in general. I don't think so. No, you know. I mean, I'm as happy as I've ever been. You know.
It's interesting.
You know, it is what it is. You know, it's not how I would choose to live if I had a choice. If I was able to, you know, do something different. I sure would, you know, but you know, I don't know. I get, you know, I spend probably about $150 a day on drugs.
And how do you generate $150?
Shoplift.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going on.
Huh?
There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, I know.
Like every male that I interview is doing it.
Yeah, it's going to come to a screeching halt pretty soon, though. I think with this the new technology that they have now for facial recognition and all that stuff, and
and then
you know,
what will male drug addicts resort to?
I'm wondering. I guess
know, the same thing female drug addicts resort to.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
There seems to be a market for it.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe for the youngsters, I don't know what I'm going to do though. I don't know. Maybe it'll be time to get clean. You know.
What's your biggest regret?
My biggest regret, probably not being around my family and stuff like that, and
do you talk to them at all?
Not very often, no.
Do they know the situation you're in now?
Yeah. You know, I don't know if you know the extent of it, you know, but you know I'm on the streets and stuff like that, and yeah, and I had my little sister died when I was in prison, and I felt bad I wasn't around, you know, for that.
But going back to fishing, where you can still maybe do the drugs sometimes, but it might be a healthier life than this.
Yeah, I don't know if I could now with my, you know, I got herniated discs in my back and stuff because it's really
physical,
demanding physically. Yeah. So.
How old are you?
52.
52.
Yeah. I mean, I miss it. It was a pretty good life, you know, because you'd get, you know, you'd work for a few weeks and you get 5 days off in a row, you know. So I always thought that was cool about it. And sometimes you make a lot of money, sometimes you don't. Just depends.
It's a certain type of character that does that kind of work, isn't it? Not every guy can do it.
No, probably not. Some people get seasick, and some people get scared.
Yeah.
And it's real tedious work too, especially in the scallop industry, because you catch them, then you have to cut them all, cut the meats out of all of them and stuff like that, you know. So it's almost like it's a grind, you know. You catch a lot of rocks and stuff too. You got to get rid of those every time you haul back your gear, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like my whole dad's side of my family just about was involved in it at one time, you know.
Yeah.
All my uncles and cousins and stuff like that.
You been in love before?
Huh?
Have you been in love before?
In love?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. At least once.
Yeah. So what would you say is the most important thing you've learned in your life?
The most important thing I've learned? To try and have, try and maintain your, you know, some kind of moral code and stuff like that, and stick to it in spite of what, and not use, you know, being an addict as an excuse to be a piece of shit and just fuck everybody over, and you know, just because you have a drug problem doesn't mean you have to be a bad person. You know, you can still, you know,
have some morals.
Yeah. I mean, you can't be 100% there for anybody, you know, because drugs is your main priority, but you don't have to be You don't have to be a piece of shit.
And for you to hang on to some morals is commendable.
I mean, I think I do. I got a pretty good name out here on the streets, so.
Yeah, not everyone can maintain a moral code. Yeah. All right, Gregory, thank you so much for sharing your story.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, cool.
I wish you the best of luck.
Your name's Mark?
Mark. Yeah.
Okay, Mark.